Police in the Central Region are investigating Saturday's clash between members of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, and the opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, at Ejumako-Bisiase. The clash led to one member of the NDC and two others from the NPP camps sustaining severe injuries. With 64 days to the general elections, concerns have been raised about the potential for violence in some areas. Last month, clashes at a 3FM parliamentary debate for candidates at the Asiedu-Dartey constituency here in the Greater Accra region drew attention to what is likely to happen if proper early warning systems are not put in place in those political hotbeds or flashpoints. In the run-up to the December polls, the Ghana Police Service has already identified over 5,000 flash spots in Ghana. According to them, these flashpoints have been identified ahead of the elections, so to enable the security agencies manage them to prevent any violence. Also, chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Charlotte Osei, last month warned that the December 7th presidential and parliamentary elections could be marred by violence if not managed carefully because the current political environment, it says, is hostile. The Commission said 81 out of the 275 constituencies in Ghana are potential hotspots. Let's get onto the telephone lines quickly and speak with Dr. Kingsley Adjei. He's a political science lecturer at the University of Cape Coast and also an expert in international conflict management. Good evening, Doc, and thank you very much for your time.
Good evening.
Already, the Electoral Commission has said that 81 out of the 275 constituencies we have in Ghana are potential hotspots. Now, with 64 days into the polls, will you say security agencies have been doing enough to monitor these flashpoints?
Well, it's yes and no. It's one thing identifying these hotspots, another thing putting in place measures to deal with them, as you're saying. So once in some of these hotspots, the things we are witnessing, as has just happened last Saturday, continue to happen, we would say that the security services must up their game because it's dangerous for our democracy and for the 2016 elections. But in most of these cases, you would not hear of PPP or any of the smaller parties. You only hear of NDC, NPP supporters. It tells you that many of these guys who engage in these activities are insulated from arrest because they belong to the big parties. And that is the motivation for them to continue to do that. I believe that these cases must be treated as criminal cases and those found culpable arrested and dealt with. If we allow such people who may even be using this period to settle personal scores and they continue to build zones of conflict, I'm afraid it will spread. And on the day of voting and the day of results, we might see worse things. So it's for the police and other security agencies to begin to deal with these issues, not politicizing them, but dealing with them as criminal cases and those unculpable dealt with.
I know that conflict resolution experts and experts like yourself always hold the view that if there are early warning systems in place for the security agencies or election stakeholders to be able to identify these flashpoints and deal with them in good time, the problem will be minimized. But that responsibility is at the doorstep of security agencies and election stakeholders. What about individuals? What can the members of the public do to assist in ensuring that such chaos is eliminated, if not entirely reduced?
Well, first of all, if you talk about the public may be ignorant of these triggers. So it is important for us and for you in the media to continue to educate people on the triggers. We have this that happened this weekend, the one that happened this weekend.
That's right.
Which might be described as campaign conflict. You know, we have identity conflict when people register. Then we have campaign conflict where opposing parties, try to prevent others from campaigning in certain areas, and also where hate speeches are heard, and those hate speeches are motivated sometimes by threat narratives, unsettled issues from past elections and others, where people then say, well, we will not allow you to do this as you did in the last elections. And if these are not dealt with carefully, they could result into conflict. So for the public, they should be educated to know that at some point there is what we call election chronology, and it follows from the registration right down to the day of voting and even the announcing of results. And each of these cases, in each of these events, I think that the spots that have been identified as hot ones should be carefully monitored. Activities there should be monitored, and the police and other security agencies have to be there. The public must also know that elections are not the end of everything, of a democracy. We have reduced our democracy to NDC, MPP, and the day of voting. The public must know that if they spark off zones of conflict, they would suffer because civilians have to go about their duties. Innocent people would be killed, and that they may not have any stake in any of these political parties.
Right.
So it is about time that we educated the public to know that elections will continue to be part of our democracy, but they are not do or die
issues. Right. Dr. Kingsley Adjei, we're grateful for your time.